Virginia features a deep, balanced attack, while Syracuse has shown a new patience on the field with the same resolve to win it all.
I've been here for 2 years now, and I still don't have a championship, and that's what I'm here for. You know, that's why I came to Syracuse, and that's what I'm hoping for today.
The Virginia Cavaliers and the Syracuse Orangemen. Proud, successful programs. Powerful, skilled athletes, each looking to be the best team in lacrosse. Record crowds expected at College Park, Maryland. Byrd Stadium, the site. The NCAA Men's Lacrosse Championships for Division I. Today, these fans will be treated to a great offense as the Syracuse Orangemen take on the Virginia Cavaliers. Hello, everyone. I'm Leif Elsmo, and I'm with some of the greatest lacrosse fans in the world. These are the Syracuse faithful. Syracuse fans very used to being at this tournament. 17 straight times this great program has come to this championship series, and this time they do it with unusual flair. We know about the offensive stars. We've talked about Kotaya and Powell. How about some unexpected sources of offense? Look at the semifinal matchups here in transition. Defensive specialist Jeff Lowe coming down and twice scoring when it really counted. His first 2 goals of the game, of the season, I should say, really propelled Syracuse into the championship game. Well, championships, this team and this program and these fans are used to championships. Syracuse has been here so many times, they fully expect to take home the hardware. Quinn Kesnick, my buddy Quinn Kesnick, is with the Virginia fans right now.
Leaf, these fans are absolutely fired up. Virginia in the championship for the first time since 1996. They last won in 1972. These fans will be rooting extremely hard today. A beautiful day for lacrosse. We've got Tucker Radeba on attack for Virginia, 41 goals and 30 assists. The senior, a leader on and off the field. He can beat you in so many different ways. But the story, Connor Gill in the semifinals exploded for 5 first-quarter goals, including 3 in a row, as Virginia controlled the faceoffs and converted their shots.
Quint, this game produces dream matchups up and down the field. Give us a Nike face-to-face to focus on.
The marquee matchup is the Battle of the Ryans. We've got Ryan Powell, the talented attackman for Syracuse, so number 22, going against Ryan Curtis, a real tough, tenacious defender for the Virginia Cavaliers. A great matchup. 2 of the best players at their positions.
It's going to be an exciting game. We'll be back with the opening face-off in just a minute. Hey, who's going to win this game? Tailgating has never been better. We're at the Division I championship, Byrd Stadium in College Park. They are cooking outside, and it's heating up inside as the crowd files in to see a dramatic matchup. Virginia taking on Syracuse. Leif Elsmo along with Quint Kesnick, and this field looks hot and sweaty. It is 89 degrees. We're going to top 90 today on the field. I guarantee you it's 95 plus. Sunny and hot all day. Very small breeze. Quint, that has been a factor over the championship weekend, the heat on the field.
It has. Both these teams have deep midfield lines. Virginia will play 28 players today. They'll run 12 different midfielders into the game. The heat, I'd say, gives an advantage to the Cavaliers.
Virginia did a great job getting in here. Take a look at the series numbers. Syracuse against Virginia.
Syracuse leads the series 6-5. The last 3 meetings, all won by Syracuse, all extremely high-scoring games decided by a few goals. So this game looks to be the same type of game as the most of the games in this series. High-scoring, but close.
Syracuse, a lot of success in these championships in the last 10 years or so. Virginia has not won the national championship since 1972 when Jay Connor took the Cavaliers to the highest crown in college lacrosse.
They had a freshman goalie in the net that year, Rodney Ruhlman. They beat Hopkins 13-12, 1972. They have a freshman goalie this year in the nets.
Cavaliers coming out, getting set with Virginia. Now we'll take a look at the freshman goalie and the nets for Virginia.
Derek Kenny playing the game of his career on Saturday against Johns Hopkins with 18 saves and only 11 goals against. In the quarterfinals against Delaware, he made 13 saves. So he is getting better and better as his freshman season has matured.
This team played Syracuse in the first game of the season. It was a 14-12 game. Kenny was very raw then, very green. He's really matured throughout the year. Tough spot to put a young goalie, and of course on the other end, you've got a sophomore in Mulligan. So two young guys, Quint, and as an ex-goalkeeper from Hopkins, you've been at this field winning the championship for Hopkins. You know how intense it gets. Here's Mulligan as a sophomore. That 1 year makes a big difference.
He loves the spotlight that the championship game will present. And he is really the centerpiece of their defense from a vocal standpoint. You'll see him barking to his defense all day. He loves this excitement.
Face-off's critical. Virginia has been dominant throughout the year. It'll be Jason Denneker, 25, and David Jenkins for Virginia to take the first draw of the game. Syracuse wants to get the wing play intensified, and they do get good wing support. It's Powell coming up, but no, blocked down by Virginia. Nobody coming up, no slash call. Here comes the Syracuse Orangemen. That was a very tough battle for the very first possession, and they throw it away.
So many times on the face-off, we focus on the draw men, but today I believe the wing play, guys like Matt Alexander, Devin Ackerman coming in off the wings, they will be very important. With two great face-off specialists, they could nullify one another.
Syracuse will be wearing the orange jerseys, UVA the white jerseys, and the orange pants. So a lot of similar colors out there, but the Syracuse Orangemen, orange up top. Virginia also with the blue helmets, which will help you separate the two teams. Coyote, great shooter from up top, trying to get it in as his first midfield is on the field. Soliday, Coyote, and Kaufman, just a freshman. This is him right now, 32. They've asked a lot of Kaufman. He's slow starting in this year as a freshman might, and he's scored a lot in the last 9 games of the season.
Take a look at the incredible history.
We'll get back to that in a moment. Meanwhile, first shot and a goal from up top. Didn't take long for Matt Kataya to bury one on the young freshman goalie. 1-0 Syracuse.
Syracuse has shown incredible patience. You'll see Coyote.
There's Coyote.
Feeds inside for the easy Syracuse goal. Watch the catch left-handed, turn and shot for Soliday. Brian Soliday.
Soliday, number 9,
sophomore from
not number 8.
Long Island. That's a look at Matt Kataya. We'll be talking about him a little later, but Brian Soliday on that goal. Beautiful pass by Coyote, who has really improved his game this season. He's great in between the lines, but offensively, he has been a major threat.
So Soliday gets the first goal. Number 9, not number 8. Believe me, it's very tough to tell the thin Syracuse letters. Ball checked out by Lowe, who's been sensational. Jeff Lowe playing that defensive midfield, but Virginia gets back their first possession of the game.
So important for Syracuse to get to the freshman goalie, Derek Kenny, early, and they have with their first shot.
Connor Gill, this is the guy who really put Hopkins out of the tournament single-handedly, and he is marked by Bill St. George, a freshman. 2 freshmen going head-to-head. Check behind as Connor Gill got in, but Billy St. George takes the ball away from him. Push call. It'll stay with Virginia.
St. George does an intelligent job here, forcing to the inside. And Josh Rule, big Josh Rule, 6'5", 250 pounds. He's going to try to send a message to Connor Gill. Hey, you may get by Billy St. George, but I'm going to come over and crush you.
Meanwhile, Hanley Holcomb, this has been a really effective midfield, the second midfield line. Oki, Baruch, and Holcomb for Virginia. Big shot and a goal to tie it at 1. This line has been producing all season long, and they put Virginia on the map. 1-1 the score.
Henry Oki, his 13th goal of the season. Dodging right-handed. Virginia has so many great athletes at the midfield. Watch it here, just a little stutter step, fakes to his left, shifts back to his right, and beats the left-hander Mulligan. Notice Mulligan's stick is on his left side. He's a lefty, and watch the accuracy. Oki puts it to the far side. A beautiful shot. Oki, one of the 3 players on this team that played in the '96 championship game.
Syracuse almost missing that. Denneker comes back to get possession, so Syracuse gets the second of the 3 face-offs. Definitely a concern for them because Virginia has won 75% of the face-offs in the playoffs. The Orangemen 7-2 when they score first. They were on the board first here today, but Quint, in the playoffs, they have come from behind in every game they've played.
Quarterfinals, they trailed the #1 ranked Loyola Greyhounds 4-1 early and rallied. And then last Saturday, they did the same against Georgetown.
Dom Starsia, 7th year at Virginia. Tremendous job building this program, came from Brown. This is John Desko, who worked he's been here about 20 years.
20 years, 19 years as an assistant under Roy Simmons Jr., who stepped down last season. This is his 20th year on the sideline for the Syracuse Orange.
So Virginia now has their first line on there, led by Jay Jalbert, who started things off in the semifinal with an electrifying shot against Carcaterra. This is Tucker Radeball, getting a lot of lumber up top. as he takes a shot wide. The Cavaliers, 92, or 72 rather, that long ago for their NCAA championship, 23rd tournament appearance, 6th championship game. Avenged 2 of the 3 losses this season. And the thing for them, Quint, the last few times they've been here is overtime losses. They have lost in overtime.
4 straight times in the national finals they have lost in OT.
Here comes Syracuse. Matt Alexander running down, feeding off 2 passes, can't get it past Curtis. Great job by Curtis to cut down Liam Banks' feed. They had a fast break, Quint. It was going to be trouble, but Curtis cut down the angle.
Ryan Curtis, the son of Mike Curtis, former linebacker with the Baltimore Colts.
Great passing off the pipe. Kenny was beat on the far side, but Virginia gets it back with a pipe save. Score still 1-1. Tucker Radeball gets it back to Drew McKnight, and now they'll settle down. Connor Gill, he scored there the other day in the semis, and this time lunges in. He is so fluid, Connor Gill is. And Quint, as big as he is, he really hides the stick well.
And if you're talking about confidence, how much more confidence could you have coming off a 5-goal effort in the biggest game of your career as a freshman? He has the green light to go to the cage. That's what makes that attack unit so diversified. This man right here, Tucker Radeball, the quarterback. But then you have Connor Gill and a veteran player like Drew McKnight. They fit each other so well.
Great balance and depth on the Virginia Cavaliers. Syracuse usually a running gun. This is Jay Jalbert, who is really the focal point on the midfield. 6'2", very strong, very confident player. Look at the 3 defensive players swarming Jalbert. He still comes out with possession. Moving the ball once, wide open inside. Leahy rips it low. He's got the goal, 2-1 Virginia.
Leahy, the junior from Camillus, New York, which is right down the street from Syracuse. Jalbert comes up with the ball, gets it down low to Leahy, and he does the rest himself, shooting through a massive body. Sometimes that ball is awful difficult to pick up. Watch him, little change of direction, swings left-handed and fires the ball, kicks over the stick of Robbie Mulligan. Virginia's up 2-1. Jalbert came up with that loose ball after Siglia made the great check.
Watch the wingmen on this faceoff coming from top and bottom. They have been instrumental in these early possessions. Deneker there making the big checks on Hard. Jason Hard, number 30, spelling Jenkins. This is his first attempt at a faceoff. Faceoff's tied now, 2-2, as we are into the middle of the first quarter. Virginia now taking control off those powerful control faceoffs.
Virginia's best defense is their offense. They are holding teams on average to less than 30 shots a game on their freshman goalie.
In the game against Hopkins, they went on a tremendous run in that first quarter. Mulligan has yet to make a save in this game. 2 shots, and that last goal, I've got to re-mention Jay Jalbert. He beat 3 defensemen to get the possession to give Leahy the shot.
Mulligan has been a slow starter in games this season.
Look at Virginia, really forechecking, and they get the ball back. They've got some numbers, fast break, but Hopkins in the game in the semis experienced the same thing that Syracuse is experiencing now. They slow down, get into the crease. Virginia checked by Syracuse.
Virginia's got their second attack in the game. Jamie Leachman, David Bruce, and Mark Murphy, a senior, takes Starsia. I have to give him a lot of credit. He takes the first attack out, gets this veteran group a run right here, and they cause the turnover. They're fresh players. They'll use tons of different bodies today.
A lot of running. They really feel the heat will be a factor. Starsia using that deep depth. Normally, he doesn't put this unit in this early, Quint. Usually, it's at the end of the first quarter. They've been pretty much of a predictable substitution throughout the year. Very effective, though. And this throws a little wrinkle at Syracuse with fresh legs early on. Virginia putting a lot of time on the clock. Great way to protect a freshman goalie, keeping the attack going. Holcomb comes in, left-handed shot, and he's got a goal. Holcomb makes it a 3-1 game, just like they did in the semifinals. Virginia off to a quick run. Let's see how far Desco lets this go before calling a timeout.
3 unassisted goals by Virginia, and all by midfielders. They have speed, they have quickness, and their shooting accuracy in the second half of the season has been just a world of precision. Watch the shot here. Little change of direction, bears in. The defense isn't bad, but Mulligan just too close for Hanley Holcomb. Watch the ISO on the goalie. Mulligan just handcuffed by that low shot. So 3 unassisted goals by the Virginia midfielders as they are penetrating down the middle of the field.
They're all unassisted. All 3 goals unassisted as they drive to the net. Connor Gill had the far corner and just went wide. He just was gliding in front of the defense, had the open shot against St. George. Mulligan is being absolutely riddled with shots. Semifinal Syracuse 12-1 versus Georgetown. Goals on the run. UVA 8-1 at the start of their game.
And face-offs, really the fuel for those runs. When you control the ball in lacrosse, it's make it, take it.
Tucker Radeball, the leader on the offensive end of the field. Again, all 3 goals unassisted for Virginia, which is a little bit of a switch for them. When they move the ball so beautifully throughout the year, they are right now just challenging Syracuse. Ball in close, and another shot and another goal. Virginia with a very similar run that they did in the semifinals against Hopkins. Let's see if Desco tries to stop this freight train of offense. 4-1 they lead.
Drew McKnight, 24th goal of the season. The veteran, just watch him go through the Syracuse defense right there. Stick checks. You've got to take the body. Much like hockey, player skates to the middle of the ice. You've got to put him down. Take the body. Drew McKnight, too smart. UVA, Virginia, too good in the one-on-one situation.
Let's anticipate what Syracuse did against a very similar start with Georgetown. They went to a zone defense. I would not be surprised if Syracuse drops back into a zone to take away those one-on-one moves. Right now, though, they get a face-off, and they try to put some pressure on the young Derek Kenny. Liam Banks, number 3, on the attack, substituting early for Devin D'Arcangelo. Coyote, the big gun, out in the midfield. 19 goals, 20 assists on the season, 65 shots. He can take a lot of shots. This is Kataya, 43 goals on the year. Weissleiter really working him and extending his defensive checks out to the back line. Up top, a lot of room up front for a shot, and a nice stick check again by Virginia. Virginia has really protected Kenny well. They have not let the shots get through to him on 2 or 3 occasions.
So many times this season, shooters have missed the cage against that man right there, Derek Kenny. Opponents only put 55% of their shots on the goal.
Jason Hard brings the ball down now, gets the offensive end, almost throws it past Connor Gill. Still loose, at line, it is out. Mishandled for the moment, St. George putting big pressure on him, but it was the bad pass by Jason Hard that gives it back to a riddled Robbie Mulligan.
Coming into this game, we thought that there would be a tremendous disparity in the goaltenders. Mulligan, the veteran, the smooth goalie, and Kenny, the rookie. But right now, Mulligan is the one with his back against the ropes.
And primarily because of the defensive lack of support. He's getting a lot of shots in him on the one-on-one. Again, we can almost predict that you'll see Syracuse go into a zone. Is that an offsides? Offsides called on the clearing play. Very basic mistake. Quint wasn't even a fast break. So a mental mistake gives the ball back to the Cavaliers. They lead 4-1. We are early in this game. Division I championship on ESPN.
Syracuse, I mentioned to you before the game, they looked a little flat in warm-ups, where Virginia, I thought, had a little more pop to their step. Chris Cordisco, Syracuse midfielder, said they were tired after the game last Saturday, which kind of surprised me. In this case, you think the emotion would take over and the players would tell you that they were tired, but they admitted being a little fatigued.
A lot of time left in this one, though, as Abrams brings the ball up. Siglia made the first check to bring it down, and don't forget, we'll make it a statement again. Syracuse has been down in every game they played. This is the lowest seed ever to make it to the championship. 8th seed, and they were down to Princeton, down to Loyola, and down to Georgetown. They are now down to Virginia in the championship. Virginia still looks fresh, like you talked about. Their legs look fresh. They are attacking on all areas of the field.
I have never seen a team in a semifinal game play as many players as they did. Once they got that 8-1 lead, the game was really a seesaw battle. It was 50-50 after that point. But it enabled them to play 3 or 4 lines of midfielders and 6 attackmen.
Jalbert back to McKnight. Jalbert such a focal point. He's got Coyote playing defense on him now. Jalbert may want to try to test that matchup. Short stick of the offensive threat, Coyote. Stick check brings the ball down to the ground. Josh Rule got a stick in there, and look at Syracuse pressing him over the field. Watch out. Jalbert on the roll. He's hard to handle. In close. There's an easy goal for James Jalbert. 5-1. He extends the Virginia lead to 4.
5 straight goals for Virginia. Robbie Mulligan's got to be shaking his head, asking his team, hey, where is the defense? 5 different goal scorers. They all have penetrated with ease. They all have gotten really great leverage right to the middle of the field. Watch him tuck his stick here, and look at the patience. He has all day. Nothing Mulligan can do about that. Syracuse caught flat-footed on the defensive end, and here comes the timeout that you talked about earlier. But that man-to-man defense right now, letting their goaltender down. Virginia with all the quickness and all the dodging ability.
We expect we might see a zone at the back end of this timeout. When we come back, Virginia will continue to put the pressure on Syracuse. 5-1, 3 goals in a fraction of a minute. Take a look at it.
3 goals in 19 seconds. This was Saturday against Johns Hopkins in the semifinal, fueled by faceoffs and Connor Gill's 5 goals. They extended a 1-1 tie to an 8-1 lead. J. Gilbert played so effectively in that game. Baruch with that goal. They were up 8-1. Hopkins cut it to 14-10, but then the depth and controlled half-field offense got the win, and here they are in the finals, and the same recipe appears apparent. Face-offs, transition goals, and the ability to dodge from the midfield.
Rob Mulligan or Derek Kenny, neither have had a save, Quint. We haven't had a save in this Division I championship. Let's take a look at the numbers on these two great programs.
Look at the goals scored for Virginia this year and goals allowed. A great differential. Their defense very underrated. Shooting percentage almost identical. The only stat there that sticks out is the ground ball number.
And Quint, you talked before the game about how uncanny it was that Virginia was taking shots off of the goal. Face-offs 3-3 at this point. But throughout the season, you pointed out, opposing teams were not hitting the goal that often. We've seen that in the first quarter. The stick checks of Curtis and company are taking the shots away from harm, away from the 6x6.
I think sometimes when you're playing against a young goaltender, you tend to rush and push shots that you normally wouldn't shoot.
Alexander brings it down. Matt Alexander, a great defensive midfielder, but he can pop a goal for you. Syracuse now balancing up Chris Cordisco's lines in there as Liam Banks takes it behind.
Who is going to step up for Syracuse? In the playoffs, they've gotten goals from unfamiliar sources. Right now, Ryan Powell, not a factor in this game at all. He's being guarded by Ryan Curtis. That's our Nike face-to-face matchup. Ryan Powell, in fact, is playing crease attack. He has not handled the ball much at all.
And a lot of fresh legs in there, even defensively, as the